from the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's the Major Arena Soccer League. Today, the Milwaukee Wave hosting the Chicago Mustangs. And a pleasant good afternoon, everyone, wherever you may be tuning in. Tom Wynn, along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer, will bring you all the play-by-play action from today's game. All right, Art, the Wave and Mustangs wrapping up the MASL regular season today. Milwaukee looking for a 4-game sweep of their arch rivals to the south. Wave has already clinched a playoff spot. They'll be meeting Kansas City in the first round starting next week. Meanwhile, Chicago out of the postseason, but still a respectable season, 10-9. Surprisingly, they've been much better on the road than at home. 6-3 on the road as opposed to 4-6 at home. And no doubt, if you're Armando Gamboa and company, you do not want to go an entire season and not beat the Wave at least once.
Well, growing up in St. Louis, I came to Milwaukee. The first thing they told me in Milwaukee was, listen, we don't lose to one team, and that's Chicago. And Chicago, they feel the same way. They come up to Milwaukee. They want to beat the Wave. Any Chicago team wants to take it to Milwaukee. So regardless of the implications of this game today, this is going to be a battle. It's always a good border battle.
And for Wave coach Giuliano Oliviero and company, this will be a tune-up for the upcoming playoff series against Kansas City. Wave trying to keep the roll going, Art. They've won 9 of their last 10 coming into this one. 13-6 overall, 8-1 here at the UWMP Arena. So, as Coach said, we're going to rest some guys today, but we still want to keep the momentum going.
Well, momentum is that's the word, the key word. They were 5-5 after 10 games, and they've gone 8-1 since that. To finish 9-1 in the last 10 would be phenomenal. So, yeah, you want to keep the momentum going into the playoffs, but the main thing today is you come out of this game injury-free. Can't afford injuries going into the postseason. So I think Jules is playing it smart. He's going to rest some guys, but want to keep a roll going. But more importantly, let's come out and not get anybody hurt today.
Josh Lemos will get the start today in the nets for Milwaukee, but as Coach Oliviero said, he'll play a half and then he'll bring in Rafael Diaz for a half. So want to make sure that both goalkeepers get a little bit of action today. We'll see a couple other guys in the lineup today we have not seen before. Isaac Pereira, I guess, most notably making his debut today, and it'll be exciting to see him and maybe a couple of the other guys like Tony Patterson, Andrew Wiedebach, who we haven't seen too much of this season.
Well, good to get them guys, these guys some work as well going into the playoffs, because you never know if they're going to have to be counted on to step in.
So it should be an interesting game today. Stay with us here. This is Wave Soccer. And welcome back. As we're just about set to go, you look at some of the crowd here at the UW Milwaukee Panther Arena in downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer. And again, welcoming you to today's broadcast in the game between the Wave and the Chicago Mustangs. And we welcome you wherever you may be tuning in the city of Milwaukee, Milwaukee County, the state of Wisconsin, the upper Midwest, the United States of America, the North American continent, the planet Earth, the International Space Station, or worlds beyond. And Art, as we summed it up in the pregame, game does not have any significance as far as the standings between the two teams. However, a couple of different perspectives from both the Wave side and the Chicago side on this one.
We talked about the rivalry, Chicago-Milwaukee. That's really all that needs to be said. So, you know, the Wave's just got to be smart out here today. Chicago, we'll mix it up. We've seen these games in the past, become physical. And the Wave's got to have just absolute tolerance and not retaliate today, because retaliation can lead to getting suspended for the playoffs.
In the locker room dry erase board, Coach Oliviero put in big red letters, 0 retaliation. And I'm sure that is going to be the theme for today.
He put that in letters, and he put the 0, or was it a big 0?
It was a big 0 with the line.
Okay, so it wasn't, it was numbers and letters, right? Okay, just checking, Tom, making sure you're on it.
Chicago in red.
It was a combination. It was a password.
There was a code to it. Mustangs on the attack, zone to the left. And the Wave able to clear it out. And as Ian Bennett tries to track it down, he is called for the foul. Kyle Trimble, Ramiro Cruz are the officials working the game today. They may have some work cut out for them. We'll see as the game goes on today. Now Taylor Bond able to move it away from the boards. Near wing for Camarena. Alexis Camarena turns and takes a shoulder from Vega, his former teammate in Chicago. Vega played there the last 2 years before coming to Milwaukee. As Flores, the goalkeeper, comes out to try to stop Robert Renault, along with his teammate, Pee Wee Ortega. And Renault gets called for the foul. Let's take a look one more time.
Saw Renault with a little bit of an extension with the right arm. Good call by Kyle Trimble, well behind the play. Thought Ramiro Cruz, the referee on the far boards, probably had a better look at that, but a good call by Trimble.
There's a shot by Camarena that's off the mark. Far wing. Eder Nelson tracks it down for the Wave, and Milwaukee moves it up. Here comes the Waves' leading scorer. Tied for second in the league, Ian Bennett. He'll play it back for Josh Lemos. Josh has had a tremendous rookie season. Fourth in the league in goals against and save percentage. And sixth in wins. Lemos comes into today's game with a record of 11-2, a 4.86 goals against average, 71.8% save percentage, as Willow Martinez gets called for the foul there. Taking down Andre Hain. You get a look at Andre, the big guy.
Wave with the first restart opportunity of the game in the attacking zone.
Hain will step over as Marcialete drives one in, far post. Looking for Chamale, good look. But Daniel unable to turn that one on goal, and Mustangs will take it.
Chamale did a good job to find an open lane there. Marcio had to lift it a little bit, and Daniel wasn't able to control the pass that was up in the air a little bit.
Here's Jesus Flores, who has had an up and down year as the keeper for Chicago. 38-year-old in his third season in this league with the Mustangs, 9-7 with a 6.77 goals against average and a 68.5 save percentage. Lemos under pressure, able to get it up for Hans Dennison. Hans in his second year with the Wave, the Dutch veteran. Taken away at midfield, and the Mustangs will work it. Chicago, as we talked about, much better on the road this year than they were at home. 6-3 road record, which most of the time is going to be good enough to get you in the playoffs, but they did not play as well at the Sears Center as they normally do. And Flores trying to poke it away from Hain. Andre setting himself up for the bike and was fouled on the play, and sticking his neck out and surviving to talk about it, Francisco Gonzalez.
They actually called the foul on Jesus Flores. Right there, you see the push in the back of Andre Hain, and then Andre with a attempted bicycle kick there.
Boy, Francisco was lucky. The ball got stuck between Andre's foot and his head. Otherwise, he might not be continuing.
Oh, that's a big foot there, Andre Hain.
And as Andre moves up on the ball, Wade is going to call timeout, so Giuliano Oliviero wants to talk this one over. And again, early in the game for a timeout, but the Wave, I'm sure, is in full playoff prep mode at this stage. And so if they have a chance to work on a few things as far as the restarts go, they're going to take their up.
Giuliano would like to get the early lead as well. This is a great opportunity. You know, really that foul, not a smart foul by Jesus Flores. Andre Hain had his back to the goal. He really wasn't in a dangerous scoring position. No need for Flores to push him in the back. And, you know, Tom, I was going to say the Wave restart offensively has really taken on a different look in the second half of the season. They've been much more direct in their approach. And we, as broadcasters, and obviously we've been doing this for a number of years, we've kind of been petitioning, if you will, talking about we felt the Wave should go a little bit more direct on the restarts, and they've had some success here in the second half of the season, shooting directly.
Seems like they've been much more successful with the direct approach on the restart.
Not that they were listening to us and our wants to take a more direct approach, but it has been effective.
Again, Milwaukee will open the playoffs against the Kansas City Comets, the Central Division champions, this upcoming Thursday night at the Independence Event Center in Independence, Missouri. And then right back here for Game 2 and Game 3 minigame Sunday, March 12th, 2:05. All right, Bennett will move up, step over as Leite lays it off. Ruggles shot and the save made by Flores.
Wave had 2 players run through. I thought it was a little bit early to run forward, but the play went to the only lefty on the field, Ruggles. Didn't get a lot on the shot.
Ruggles touches over now, Marcio Leite. Marcio, playing in just his 3rd game since coming back off injury, lays it off. Here's Isaac Pereira trying to set up on the near side. Isaac, the Mexican native, making his debut today. Coach Oliviero predicting good things for this young man.
Well, Pereira had either Vandergrift or Bennett wide open at the far post and elected to take a touch.
Martinez trying to get past Drew Ruggles, gets shut off there. Now comes back to take it away from Pereira, but as he falls down, foul going to be called on Isaac Pereira. Just underway here in Milwaukee, still looking for our first goal. So get a look there at Pereira, number 18. Ephraim Willow Martinez on the ball for Chicago, their 2nd leading scorer, but his production has been down so far this year. Coming in today's game, 11 goals, 10 assists, 21 points. Last year, he topped the Mustangs in scoring with 46 points. Has not missed any games so far this year for Chicago. Nice crowd on hand here today. Should exceed 6,000, possibly close to 7,000. Now Andrew Wiedebach, the Mequon native, steps up to knock one away, but eventually Ortega able to play him off the ball. Good atmosphere here at the game today. The regular season finale. Milwaukee at 13-6. As Ruggles clears it out of play, it'll be a top-of-the-arc restart for Chicago. And the Mustangs at 10-9. Milwaukee winning the first 3 games of the season series, outscoring the Mustangs 30-20 during that time.
Drew Ruggles, the Wave defender, shaking his head there. Kind of an unforced error, clearing it over the far boards.
Ortega on the ball for Chicago. He will lay it off, and the attempt by Taylor Bond just wide to the far side.
Well, I think Bond was actually passing that ball across to the far post, and the Chicago attacker at the far post just missed with the diving header.
Yeah, almost put his head into the frame. I think that's Oswaldo Rojas. We'll have to get another look here.
That was Rojas at the far post.
Mustangs cycle it around. Chicago qualified for the playoffs each of the last 2 seasons, facing the Wave both times, and Milwaukee coming out victorious, winning each series in a Game 3 minigame. But no postseason for Chicago this year. And certainly a disappointment. First half of the season, they looked like they would challenge Kansas City for the division crown, but
well, a lot changed in the Central Division. Looked like Cedar Rapids was a shoo-in to make the playoffs after 14 games.
Eder Nelson coming off the bench, knocks it away. Now Ruggles with it. Drew, the 2nd-year player out of Georgia Southern, lays it back for Josh Lemos. Now Nelson, the Costa Rican native, one of the fastest guys in the league.
You said Drew Ruggles, the 2nd-year player. I'd add to that the much improved 2nd-year player. What a season Drew Ruggles has had for the Wave.
Kane finds Pereira, now lays it off. Nelson tried to play it off the inboard. Flores able to sweep it away. Good hustle there by Tony Patterson, the Menominee Falls native. And foul going to be called on Taylor Bond. Bond is Chicago's leading scorer. 4th in the league in points with 52, 5th in the league in goals with 38. And he's had a breakout season for the Mustangs. he stays healthy, he looks like he's going to be a star in this league for years to come.
Well, he's got a really nice combination of pace, technical ability, very direct in his approach, loves to go right when he gets the ball. That's Taylor Bond, number 12 for Chicago.
Chamale takes the pass from Lemos. Laid off on the far side as Vega tried to play it in. It was broken up now toward the empty net and just wide.
That was Rojas that time, who had Lemos off his line. Pulled out his sand wedge, Tommy. Just couldn't get it on frame. He pulled it a little bit.
Just like one of my sand wedges. Now, if that was an Art Kramer sand wedge, that would have been dead to rights.
Anytime you decelerate a little bit, you're going to pull it a little bit, and that's what Osvaldo did that time.
Lemos puts it out of play as he was looking downfield. Almost at the midway point of the first period. Still no score. Just one other game in the Major Arena Soccer League today as we conclude the regular season. That'll take place a bit later in Baltimore with the Harrisburg Heat visiting the Blast. And those two teams are going to get familiar with each other as they will also meet this upcoming week in the first round of the playoffs. First time a Harrisburg team has qualified for the playoffs in 17 years against the defending league champions. Good stop there by Lemos on the shot by Martinez, and now foul is going to be called on Pichardo.
Kyle Trimble, the referee on the far side. Very sharp here in the first 7.5 minutes. Hasn't missed any calls so far.
Get a look at Lemos making that last stop on Willow Martinez. Here's Chamale with pressure from Camarena. Back for Lemos, the Canadian native.
Who has been just outstanding this season, Tom. Boy, Josh Lemos, I got to say, what a surprise. Knew he was a good goalkeeper, but his play this season has been instrumental in the Wave making the playoffs.
No doubt about that. And again, like several of these other younger players, has really come on in the second half of the season. Chamale steps in to make the play there as he gets around Ortega. Nelson lays it off. Marcio Leite fires a shot. Flores makes a save. Leite follows. And he bends it over to Bennett. But foul going to be called. I think they're going to cut Marcio for a dangerous play as he got the foot up just a bit. So no goal on that play.
Marcio came with as you said, a straight foot. Ramiro Cruz called it right away. See if we have another look at it possibly.
So much to the disappointment of the Wave fans, that goal will not count. Marcio had the right idea, but the call had already been made. And so we are still scoreless. Ortega able to knock it away from Leite, but Vandergrift keeps it going for the Wave. Chad in his 4th indoor season, first in Milwaukee after spending his first 3 with his hometown St. Louis Ambush. Now, Osvaldo Rojas trying to pressure Lemos. Dennison followed it up for the Wave. Leite will move it back for Lemos. So, game 1 of the Wave playoff series against Kansas City Thursday nights in KC. And then coming back here for game 2 and the game 3 minigame if necessary. Sunday, March 12th, 2:05 p.m. Call the Wave office for tickets at 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com. Your source for everything Wave. Tickets, apparel, Wave summer camps. MilwaukeeWave.com. Hain knocks down Gonzalez, but they play on. Now Gonzalez trying to get it back, cut off by Hans Dennison. Here's Pichardo. Takes the back heel, walking in and trying to play to the far post, cleared away. Ortega gets it back.
Good positioning off the ball that time by Drew Ruggles.
Drew chipping down toward the empty net. What a conversion! How about that? Drew Ruggles from beyond midfield after he made the steal and chips one in beyond the retreating Jesus Flores. Wade leads it 1-0. One of the goals of the season.
Started with his defensive pressure. Ruggles right here forces a turnover, and then from well beyond that midway line, catches Jesus Flores off his line and clinically finishes one over the top of Flores. Reminds me a little bit, Tom, of our good friend Chili Farias, who used to score those long-range goals when the keeper was off his line. Another lefty.
And you see a fired-up Drew Ruggles. Yeah, I remember Chile chipped one in from midfield in the championship game in 2010, as I recall, when the Wave had the extra attacker on. So big goal there for Ruggles and the Wave to grab the 1-0 lead.
So far the difference, it was Rojas who missed one at the other end for Chicago with Lemos off his line, and then Ruggles catches Flores off his line and converts.
That's one of the longer goals we've seen here.
That wasn't a six attacker goal, right? I mean,
right. The only longer goal I can think of, versus not the sixth attacker, was Jonathan Santos converting on that volley from nearly 3/4 of the field against the Comets back in 2011 during the playoffs. Speaking of playoffs against the Comets.
Didn't Housey score one from way out one time? It might have been against a six attacker, but I remember Housey.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think Housey knocked one in just beyond his defensive line. But it doesn't happen too often. You score a goal beyond midfield when whether the other team has their sixth attacker on or not. Vega battling with Camarena, and the foul is called. Guillermo Vega, only playing in 2 games prior to today, hurt his hip in the second game of the season and really was knocked out from that point. Actually, it was the opener down in Kansas City. Then he did try to come back a bit later, but could not go. And so he had to rest up the rest of the season, let that hip get better. I'm talking with Coach Oliviero. He said Guillermo was looking fairly good in practice. Said he obviously needs some fitness, game fitness, but he could be a key for the Wave coming down the stretch here with his postseason experience. So Ruggles scoring his 4th of the year at 10-10 to put the Wave up 1-0. Now Chicago's going to back off the pressure. Lemos coming out toward midfield along with Daniel Chamale. Chamale, another rookie from Canada, had a solid season for the Wave. Bennett trying to turn, lost the touch. Taylor Bond playing it up ahead. And good defensive play by Vandegrift to poke it away. But the Mustangs will reload. Milwaukee going left to right here in the first period. Pichardo gets it back far side, drives it in just wide as Taylor Bond was trying to get to the far post. Now here comes Ian Bennett back in a 3v3. Lays it off Vandegrift to Bennett. Ian with a career high 51 goals this year. Also has a career high in assists with 11. 62 total points. Enters today's game trailing Sonora's Frank Teo for the scoring race. Teo was 72. So Ian would have to have a monster game of effort proportion today to time in that race.
Monster game. He's had a few of those against Chicago this year. He's been a thorn in the side of a number of teams in the MASL, but none more than the Chicago Mustangs.
7 goals in the first game down in Chicago this year. And then followed up with a 6th spot later on. So he has definitely haunted the Mustangs this year.
Were those back-to-back, Tom? I mean, I thought it was the 2 times they played him, was the 13 goals in the 2 times they played him.
Foul going to be called.
Another good call there by Trimble, right on top of it.
So the Mustangs getting ready for the free kick as Ramiro Cruz will back up the Wave defensive wall 5 steps. Ortega straight away on the ball. He's got Martinez to his right and Camarena to his left as Camarena continues his conversation with Ramiro Cruz. So let's see what the Mustangs do here with 1:14 left to go, first period. Ortega with a shot and a good step up by Eder Nelson to make the block. We mentioned Ian Bennett leading the Wave with 62 points, tied for 2nd in the league with Baja's Christian Gutierrez, who also has 62. Max Ferdinand getting a rest today. Max, number 7 in the league with 48 points, and is going to finish as the league's leading playmaker with 30 assists on the year. So he's had an outstanding season as well. But again, taking the day off today, rest up for the playoffs. Vandergriff coming in and drives it through, and Flores able to cover up. Chad looking for Marcio Leite at the far post. Now Ruggles able to step in and make that play, but meanwhile, off the ball, we get a foul against the Wave. Chicago with a quick restart, but they outdid themselves there with the quick restart. Nobody was there ready to quick restart except the guy on the ball. Now Tony Patterson, the Falls native, plays it in. Perea, shot just wide. Patterson following. Tony trying to keep the pressure on as Ortega gets it to Camarena, and now the Mustangs break it out. Taylor Bond, big guy with good speed, and he's got a good shot on top of it. Rolls it in with the left foot. Didn't get much as well defended by Ruggles. Final 8 seconds of the first period as Pereira is drilled by Juan De La Cruz.
De La Cruz was trying to claim he got all ball, but he just steamrolled.
All right, 5.1 seconds left to go as Ruggles will chip it into the mixer. Header by Hayne is wide, and Dennison trying to follow. Could not convert on that, and that will do it for the first period. So, Milwaukee takes the lead after the first 15 minutes. On the goal by Drew Ruggles, his 4th of the year unassisted at 10-10. Stay with us, fans. We will come back with more. This is Wave Soccer.
Wave fans, make some noise!
Take a miracle. Look at Lynn, plays it in. Heading down. Marcio across. Shot a goal!
Oh my,
Yes!
This is going to be something else. This is going to be something else, Tom. I don't know if they can go to instant replay, but I don't know if that ball was in before that horn sounded. It was extremely close.
And the shot save Orberg, and he punches away.
Been off his line way early, but Luan scores anyway.
Badger Max, for those who thirst for a championship. Made with all-natural flavors and premium ingredients. Rehydrate, recharge, and boost your performance. Badger Max, drink it to the max. Find Badger Max at these fine retailers.
Getting ready for the start of the second quarter here from Milwaukee. The Wave leading the Chicago Mustangs 1-0. Tom went along with the Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer. As saw an entertaining first period. Let's take a look at some of the highlights here. Well, there was only one scoring highlight. That was Drew Ruggles chipping one in.
No
from
highlights, but
midfield.
it was entertaining.
Extremely entertaining. Team switch sides, Wave in the black and electric yellow compliments. Names, numbers, socks.
That's what that is, huh? Electric yellow.
Yeah, I haven't been able to.
I just thought it was like a lime green.
Haven't been able to get the exact term on that.
Neon.
Maybe a neon type green. Josh Lemos, Wave keeper, knocking it back and forth with Guilherme Viega. Sets up Bennett for a volley, and Flores making a nice save as he came out to cut the angle. Wave trying to apply a bit of upfield pressure here as the Mustangs chip it over the top. Edwin Rojas setting up, man on the wing, shot was wide, and eventually Lemos comes up with it. So the game plan today by Wave coach Giuliano Oliviero was to play Lemos in the first half and then let Rafa Diaz take over as goalkeeper in the second half. Lemos chips it downfield. Flores able to play it up. Edwin Rojas looking across and gets it back now. Wave leads the all-time regular season series between these clubs 5-4, including a 3-0 mark so far this year. And Milwaukee 4-2 in the postseason against Chicago, winning the first round playoff series each of the last two seasons, 2-1, with the third game mini game deciding it. Leite getting hammered down there. Foul is called. Let's take a look one more time as see Edwin Rojas put him down.
How about all-time Milwaukee-Chicago, Tom?
It's been pretty close, but if you're going to factor in the games against the Vultures, Shockers, Power, Storm, Riot, am I missing anybody?
You would know, man. You would know.
I would believe Milwaukee would still have the edge. They racked up quite an advantage against the Power in their later years. But all in all, been fairly close, fairly competitive between Milwaukee and Chicago, as is usually the case in just about any sport. Milwaukee teams have certainly had the edge in this past 16, 17 years as far as competition between the cities. Bennett's shot turned away.
Wilo Martinez, the forward back there defensively that time. Chicago to block that one.
You know, talking about the Packers swept the Bears this past year. Bucks with a 3-0 lead on the Chicago Bulls in their 4-game season series so far this year. Even the Brewers beat the Cubs 5 of the last 7 during the regular season. Of course, that didn't seem to derail the Cubs too much as they went on to win the World Championship. But yeah, anyway, Milwaukee teams have done okay against Chicago here in the past couple of years. Foul called there, Drew Ruggles. He doesn't seem very happy about it. Let's take a look. Yeah, I guess 50-50 all the way, and Ruggles with a little finish at the end to get the foul. So good restart chance for Chicago. Ortega now will look to distribute, and the pass is turned away.
Not a good decision that time by Pee Wee Ortega. Really no space on that far side.
Handball to be called that time.
I say far side from our broadcast booth, but tried to play it on where there was very limited space on his side of the field.
Now Ortega able to step up and play that one, but the Wave gets it back. Vandegrift chipping far side. Ian Bennett. Ian looks up. Nice ball ahead. Here comes Pereira walking in on Flores. Got around him, but the Mustangs defense able to get back and prevent him from scoring.
Well, Pereira's a young player, Tom, but he'll learn with more experience to take those extra touches in around goal is a mistake. That's twice he's done that today. He should have shot first time. And the reason being is it doesn't allow the goalkeeper to set his feet.
Flores looks to the corner. De La Cruz trying to center on the play and helped out to Gonzalez with a shot that deflects up and over. Goalkeeper distribution for Josh Lemos in the Wave. Again, to run down the standings for you here on this final day of the MASL regular season. Kansas City wins the Central Division record with a mark of 5-5. Wave is going to finish in second place, either 14-6 or 13-7. Cedar Rapids in third place. They finished 12-8. Mustangs will be in fourth place, either 11-9 or 10-10. And St. Louis at the bottom, 1-19 for the ambush. And I believe we've got a blue card coming up here. Renault in a collision with De La Cruz, and a bit unlucky for Robert that he's going to end up in the box for 2 minutes.
Kyle Trimble making the call along these near boards. And it may have looked like to Kyle. Let's take another look at the replay, but here's Renault. He's got the right arm into the back of the Chicago player who ended up going into his own teammate. So I could see where the initial foul was called. I think the fact that De La Cruz was down and stayed down may have added to the fact that Trimble pulled the blue card out.
So Mustangs go on the power play. They have not been a power play juggernaut this year. Only 32%, which is 14th best in the league. Milwaukee has been, well, not great, but not terrible as far as penalty killing. 59%, which is 8th best in the league. Of course, switch that around. The Waves power play has really been one of their signature things this season. Milwaukee second in the league at 68%.
You said Chicago was 32%, which is good for what?
14th in the
Wow.
league.
Those are some high numbers. 32% is really not too bad.
Penalty killing has not been on the shutdown mode across the league this year, Art.
Hey, by the way, Toulouse had like 3 shorthanders about halfway through the season. What did he end up
We
with?
finished with 3, so
Okay.
Max Toulouse from San Diego.
My one and only record still intact, Tom. The 6 shorthanded goals.
That is going to be very difficult to break, well, especially in the era of the, the 20-game or so season. Art
Good
Kramer
point.
doing that in a 40-game
yeah.
campaign. And Willow Martinez converts on the power play with the assist from Ortega, I believe it was, and Chicago has tied it up at 1-1.
You said Willow Martinez last year's leading scorer. That time Ruggles came out to block, turned his back a little bit. Right there, you see him turn, and then Lemos wasn't able to get across with the left hand to make the save.
Number 12 on the year for Willow Martinez, his 4th power play marker. Waves Ian Bennett leads the league with 14 power play goals. And Ortega gets the assist.
Blocking shots with your body is not a lot of fun, Tom, but you got to come out and stay square to the ball, not turn your back. Hard to do. Easy to say up here in the broadcast booth, but got to make yourself big and help your goalkeeper out.
Foul called that time against Gonzalez. Leite looking for the shot, drives it in, it's blocked and up and over, so a corner kick coming for Milwaukee.
And that time Wilo Martinez shows how it's done in shot blocking. Watch here, Leite with a nice move to his right, and watch Wilo, number 10. Square to the ball, turned a little bit with his upper body, but stayed strong with the lower part.
All right, Leite out of the corner, ready to put it in for the Wave. Let's see what Milwaukee dials up here. Ruggles coming through, and his shot turned away at the near frame. Andre Hain, nice job there to initially win the ball at midfield. And now Andre tracking back defensively, trying to stay with Edwin Rojas. Tell you, Andre, for a big guy, can move pretty well.
Oh, he's got great agility, good speed, very good technical player. Another guy in the second half of the season who's just really come on.
He was plagued by an ankle injury in the first half of the year, but once he got healthy, really started asserting himself. Dennison looking across. Here's Renault with the keeper down, lays it off far side. Boy, what a pass from Renault to Ian Bennett, and the Wave leads it 2-1.
The technical ability of this Milwaukee Wave team is just so much fun to watch. Time it was Dennison who made a nice little one-touch pass to Renault. Beat the keeper. I think everybody in the building, including Jesus Flores, thought he was going to shoot, but then he just finds his teammate Ian Bennett at the far post. Watch right here. Look at the vision of Robert Renault to spot Bennett. Didn't even look like he saw him. But with his peripheral, he did. And found Bennett at the far post, number 52 for number 26, Ian Bennett.
And that keeps Ian's season scoring streak alive. He has tallied at least 1 point in every single game this year. He has been the model of consistency.
How many times have we seen it this year too, Tom? The decision-making of the Wave in the attack to make that extra pass to get the easy finish at the far post.
Now here comes Hain from Milwaukee. Sealed off by Ortega and able to play it away. Ortega, not a very big guy, especially staying next to Andre Hain, but he's always a guy, Art, who plays much bigger than his size out there.
Who's that, Pee Wee Ortega? Oh my goodness. He's one of the best players in the league and has been for a few years. I said earlier in the game he made a poor decision on a restart. Well, those poor decisions are few and far between for Pee Wee Ortega.
And especially against the Wave, historically, he has played tremendously well.
And look at that step right there by number 5, Pee Wee Ortega.
As he read that pass coming upfield. Vega trying to see if he can clear it. Taylor Bond really putting the pressure on, and somehow Lemos able to dive back to smother the ball in the goal mouth. Looked like that was going to be a ricocheting goal for Chicago. A great reaction there by Lemos.
Great quickness by Lemos to recover after he challenged for that first ball up above his head.
Wave led it 1-0 at the end of the first. Each team has tallied once here in the second. Now here comes De La Cruz as he got behind the defense. Late pressure though from Chamale forces a shot up in the stands. And we will have our media timeout. 7:18 left to go here in the first half. And the Wave leading 2-1 in what has been a very entertaining first half so far. Again, the take on the Kansas City Comets in the first round MASL playoff matchup, the quarterfinals, if you will. Game 1 will take place at the Independence Event Center in Independence, Missouri, the home of the Comets. Actually, that's the Silverstein Eye Centers Arena in Independence. That'll be this upcoming Thursday, March 9th, 7:35 p.m. Central Standard Time kickoff there. And then the teams will return for Game 2 and Game 3, the minigame if necessary, a week from today, Sunday, March 12th. And that will be a 2:05 kickoff here at the Panther Arena. How about Van McNeil celebrating happy birthday today? I believe that's Van's 39th for the 5th or 6th consecutive year. Anyway, call the Wave office for tickets to that big Wave playoff game against Kansas City. Sunday, March 12th at 2:05 as they show some of the best of Van. Oh, boy, he's got amazing legs, that's for sure.
The many looks of Van the Man McNeil.
And
I guess amazing legs. I guess I'll just leave it at that. You said it, Tom, not I.
Amazing costumes. Van
okay,
the Man
amazing
McNeil.
costumes. You said amazing legs, though.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to retract that statement. But anyway, here are some of the other birthdays today. And again, call the Wave office for tickets, 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com, your source for everything Wave. Tickets, merchandise, apparel, and of course the Wave summer camps. Summer camp season just around the corner. It's already March. And before you know it, Wave summer camp season will be kicking off at the beginning of June. Giuliano Oliviero, we're honoring his birthday today. I believe it was actually last week that the coach celebrated his birthday, but happy birthday nonetheless to Giuliano. Back to the action. Wave with the black uniforms going right to left here in the second period. Currently leading 2-1. Milwaukee getting goals from Drew Ruggles and Ian Bennett. Bennett turning and shooting one in there. Flores is able to go down and get it. And the only marker for Chicago this far, Willow Martinez on a power play at 5:02 of this period.
And you got to think that's probably what Giuliano Oliviero is the most pleased with in this first half has been the defensive effort. Anytime you're playing a game that doesn't have a lot of meaning to it, to see the team come out defensively and play strong has got to be a positive in Coach Oliviero's eyes.
Yeah, good point. Easy to lose your defensive discipline in a game that doesn't have any bearing on the standings, as foul was called there. And was that Martinez who took the foul? As yeah, that was, and he did it in retribution because he had taken a bit of a knock from somebody else that wasn't called prior to that, and he came back and took a whack at Vandegrift, and that is one guy the Wave does not want to be without getting into that playoff series against the Comets.
And Chad had been struggling with a foot. In general, say injury, but he's had some nagging injuries. He's got to hope that he's okay. He's down there on the bench right now, being tended to by the Wave training staff.
Martinez trying to see if he could put one into the vacated net, but Lemos was able to get back. His shot was off target.
But you're right, Tom. Chad Vandegrift has been one of the defenders of the year in my eyes for the Milwaukee Wave this season.
Wave's leading shot blocker, 28 points, but Chad has really played well at both ends of the field for Milwaukee. Not a big scorer. 4 goals, 4 assists coming into today's action, but some timely scoring. And again, just very solid defensively for Milwaukee this year.
He's got such good range. He's got long legs, good agility.
Yeah, good speed and strength. And again, if you're going up against Chad as an opponent, you're not going to have an easy day working against him.
Reads the game very well. You mentioned he's not a big scorer. I think because he doesn't have to be. Certainly a guy that can go forward and score goals if that's what the Wave was looking for from his role.
His role offensively reminds me of our longtime buddy and, of course, your longtime teammate, Tim Tima. Timmy was not a big scorer, but the timeliness of his offensive efforts were usually very key.
I'd say the comparison's good. They're both very intelligent players. Read the game very well.
And, of course, Tim Tima went on to become one of the premier officials in indoor soccer, and to this day, one of the primary officials in the Major Arena Soccer League. The former Cleveland State Viking. Headed across as Hain was trying to get it for Pereira. Couldn't make the connection, but the Wave gets it back. 4.5 to go first half. Now Isaac Pereira making his debut for the Wave today. Pass is broken up. Back comes the Mustangs. Ortega in the middle, looking for Camarena. Cut off by Nelson, and foul going to be called on Camarena.
Mustangs foul, number 77, Alexis Camarena, 8 seconds.
Rest of the MASL standings in the Eastern Division. Baltimore 13-6, clinching first place. They're taking on Harrisburg, which clinched second place at 10-9. Florida and Syracuse 8-12, both out of the playoffs. In the Southwest Division, Solis de Sonera with the 14-6 victory over El Paso last night, finishes at 17-3 to clinch that division. They'll be taking on Baja Atletico with a mark of 10-10. Baja, of course, plays on the indoor-outdoor pitch in Tijuana, where they will open up that series Wednesday night. So if the weather is nice, they should be able to get the game in there. Dallas 7-13, and El Paso, unfortunately, finishing off a perfect season with that loss last night. The Coyotes 0-20. And then in the Pacific Division, San Diego 14-6. Had a 4-3 win at Tacoma last night to wrap up their regular season. They'll be taking on the Ontario Fury. Boy, the Fury, what a finish to the regular season for them. Winning 8 of their last 9, including the last 4 on the road to edge out Tacoma for the second and final playoff spot in that division. The Fury at 12-8. Tacoma finishes 10-10, and the Turlock Express at 8-12. So that's a rundown of your MASL regular season standings. What do you think about the playoff matchups, Art?
Well, you know, it's a short series, so we've seen it over the years, Tom. Anything can happen in the short series. It's not like best of 7, best of 5 when the best team normally wins. But the team that we're watching today, the Milwaukee Wave, you said it last week, that they've got to be considered a favorite.
Well, they've got as good a shot as anybody,
yeah,
right, the way they're playing.
I think they got a better shot than most. But the problem with the Wave is they got to get by the Kansas City Comets.
7th consecutive season, the Wave will play the Comets, one of the greatest indoor soccer postseason rivalries of all time. Here's Bennett trying to get back and convert on that long pass from Lemos, and just couldn't quite do it.
That's the second ball out of the air that Ian has had a chance to finish here today. He's not been able to do so.
Ian has moved into undisputed possession of second place in the MASL scoring race with his goal earlier today to give him 63 points, breaking the tie with Baja's Christian Gutierrez. Here's Renault with a backheel Chamale. The rest of the scoring leaders heading into today's action. Taylor Bond 4th with 52 points. Bond, of course, playing today against the Wave. Craig Childs of San Diego and Leonardo de Oliveira of Ontario tied for 5th, 51 points each. De Oliveira, the MASL Player of the Week from last week. 11 goals, 5 assists in his last 4 games. I'd say he came up big for Ontario in their run to the playoffs. Te'o, the league's leading goal scorer, 57. Ian Bennett now second with 52. And as I've said, Art, Ian I think even though he's probably going to end up second in the goal race, to me, he merits a little more weight as far as the golden ball because he's played most of his games on a full-size field. Teo is laboring on that 160-foot field in Sonora. That's not to take away from Teo. He is a fine player, but let's face it, if our field were 40 feet short, I'm sure Ian could probably rack up a few more goals.
Which gets back, you said, what did I think about the playoff race? But right there, Sonora, you know, who's going to be able to go into Sonora and figure out how to get a victory there? Saw the Baltimore Blast do it last year to win the title, but it wasn't easy.
Trying to get by, here's Ian. And Flores cuts him off after Ian made a nice move to get around the defender. Yo, that's a good point, Art. Solis undefeated at home this year, 10-0, and outscoring their opponents by about 7 or 8 goals per game down in Hermosillo. And Ruggles with a long blast. Flores makes the stop as he got tangled up with Ian Bennett, but helps him up. Now Bond trying to come near side. Nelson steps up to get it. Finds Bennett. Here's Ian now trying to walk in with a shot. Save Flores. Ian trying to go through the 5-hole there. And Flores doing a good job to stop him. Well, Bennett certainly had some chances to get another goal here in the first half. Now, nice setup there as Sandoval able to lay it off for Francisco Gonzalez. And the Mustangs tied up at 2 apiece with just 19.1 seconds to go in the first half.
Back and forth action. It was just a matter of time before one team finished a chance there. And it was Chicago here late in the second quarter to tie it up. See Gonzalez making the run to the far post, and Sandoval found him. Nice weighted pass that time by number 11, Sandoval.
8th of the year for Gonzalez. And Sandoval, who has missed 5 other games, gets his 4th assist. Well, that wakes up the small contingent of Mustangs fans who are here today. Back to even at 2 apiece.
The drumless contingent.
Yeah, normally they've got somebody,
fans,
right, banging the drums, but not today. Well, the Fire played yesterday, I believe, so I don't think that's a conflict.
Did they use the same drum? The Fire and the Mustangs, they got one drum in Chicago?
Well, the size of that drum, it might be. All right, that'll do it for the first half. And a spirited first half between these two teams, putting on a pretty good show from this excellent crowd here in Milwaukee. We'll check out some highlights. Again, bodies flying at various times here in the first half. Both goalkeepers, though, showing well in the first half. Each team had some very good chances, and both Josh Lemos for the Wave and Jesus Flores for Chicago playing well in the first half to limit each team to 2 goals. There's Drew Ruggles scoring the first of the game when he chipped one into midfield. Again, one of the goals of the season for the Wave. And we're going to say, Art, one of the 5 longest in UW-Milwaukee Panther history against a regular goalkeeper. Let's send it down to Van McNeil with Coach Oliviero.
Time for our Midwest Orthopedic Specialty Hospital Coach's Corner. Head coach Giuliano Oliviero. You got to like what you're seeing out here, but tied up at 2. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, Chicago's a very good team, and, you know, we've had a consistent lineup on the field. We got some new faces on the field. We're lacking a little cohesion, but overall, I think we created a lot of chances, and, you know, our fans have been great. You guys have been awesome all season long, and we got 30 minutes to go, and we owe it to you guys, you know, to keep winning on our home ground. All right, get back in the locker room. Head coach Giuliano Oliviero. More exciting Milwaukee Wave soccer. So far, so good, Wave fans. We got this, don't we? More Wave soccer. It's the Border Bowl right after this. Wave fans, make some noise!
take a miracle. Looking like plays it in. Headed down. Marcial across. Shot a goal!
Oh my,
Yes!
this is going to be something else. This is going to be something else, Tom. I don't know if they can go to instant replay, but I don't know if that ball was in before that horn sounded. It was extremely close.
And the shot, save Orberg, and he punches away.
Been off his line way early, but Blue Odd scores anyway.
Badger Max, for those who thirst for a championship. Made with all natural flavors and premium ingredients. Rehydrate, recharge, and boost your performance. Badger Max, drink it to the max. Find Badger Max at these fine retailers.
Why are you here? Do you have a mission? At Cardinal Stritch University, we'll help you find it. We believe it's our job to help people grow in their mind and heart while preparing them for a career. In fact, our undergraduates earn an average salary of $51,000, which is far more than most colleges and universities in Wisconsin. Find out what Stritch has to offer you. Now's the time to visit our campus for one of our upcoming events. We're here to help. After all, we make it our mission to help you find yours. Visit go.stritch.edu/events today.
Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
What others see is not a reflection of who I really am.
Pain from everyday wear and tear? That's not gonna stop me.
That younger me, she's still in there.
With uncompromising orthopedic expertise, we make sure the state of your body matches your state of mind.
Professional Construction Incorporated is a full-service construction company serving residential and commercial clients in the southeastern Wisconsin area. You can depend on Professional Construction Incorporated for new home construction, home remodeling including kitchen and bathrooms, and home additions like garages, basements, window and door installation, and more. From start to finish, Professional Construction Incorporated can assist you and customize any project. Call 262-363-0886 or visit WIPCI.com.
if Pat or somebody else was still coming up to
For him here tonight.
Stuart Grable lays it on 2, and Almeida comes in with a shot. Save. Shot on the other side, and Adamson. First Duke, then SMU. And ahead to the left side, and just like that. First Duke, then SMU. And ahead to the left side, and just like that. First Duke, then SMU. And ahead to the left side, and just like that. Clark steps up, lost the touch, pushed off the play, and a bouncing shot. Clark steps up, lost the touch, pushed off the play, and a bouncing shot. Really come through experience a lot of times. Here's Dennison coming in, and it comes, and Tosh. They always look easier from up here, though, don't they? There's a shot and a goal by Matos. Beautiful feed from Max Ferdinand, and the Wave leads it 4-1. They always look easier from up here, though, don't they? There's a shot and a goal by Matos. Beautiful feed from Max Ferdinand, and the Wave leads it 4-1. They always look easier from up here, though, don't they? There's a shot and a goal by Matos. Beautiful feed from Max Ferdinand, and the Wave leads it 4-1. Broadcast now takeaway, walking in, shot and a goal, Ian Bennett! Broadcast now takeaway, walking in, shot and a goal, Ian Bennett! If Pat or somebody else was still coming up to at 36 seconds against the Syracuse Silver Knights as they Renault turns, shoots, just back that one down as he got cut off along the boards. The ball pops out, shot and goal!
In the fourth period, they were up by 2.
Back in 99-2000.
Go take a whirlpool.
There's a great crack. To back, Ricardo. Nelson fires.
Track all that.
Right to left. Quick shot taken by Louis, turning. Rolls one wide left. Rebound, foul. Contreras turning. Campaign. Matos lays it off. Centering for Campaign. Matos lays it off. Centering for Campaign. Matos lays it off. Centering for Ferdinand lays it off. Wave.com. Nelson got away from the defender. Here he comes, one-on-one against the keeper. Shot and a goal. Nice finish there by Eder Nelson. And Milwaukee. Wave.com. Nelson got away from the defender. Here he comes, one-on-one against the keeper. Shot and a goal. Nice finish there by Eder Nelson. And Milwaukee. Wave.com. Nelson got away from the defender. Here he comes, one-on-one against the keeper. Shot and a goal. Nice finish there by Eder Nelson. And Milwaukee. Vandegrift clears. Ambush sent it right back in. Be around 11 or 12, so. Oh, what a ball.
You know, they've had some really, really good ones.
Burko! And as we start the fourth period.
A veteran player.
Corey Dahl with a sliding out to keep the zone for St. Louis. And
and showing some resolve here in the fourth.
Burko's shot knocked down. Good fourth quarter team so far this year. Score time, so Penn State did come back with a touchdown. Oh, look at Ferdinand. Time, so Penn State did come back with a touchdown. Oh, look at Ferdinand. Time, so Penn State did come back with a touchdown. Oh, look at Ferdinand.
Different styles.
Contreras with a
time about the process.
And Corey. Renault will slide it. Bennett looking for number 5. There it is. Renault will slide it. Bennett looking for number 5. There it is.
Yeah.
Badger Max, for those who thirst for a championship. Made with all-natural flavors and premium ingredients. Rehydrate, recharge, and boost your performance. Badger Max. Drink it to the max. Find Badger Max at these fine retailers.
Getting ready for the start of the second half here from Milwaukee. Wave and the Mustangs tied up at 2 apiece. So take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. The Mustangs getting the game-tying goal from Francisco Gonzalez, his 8th of the year at 14:40 of the second period, with Alonso Sandoval getting the assist. Francisco Gonzalez, as I said, his 8th of the year. Willa Martinez had the other goal for Chicago, a power play tally in the first period. Drew Ruggles and Ian Bennett have scored for the Wave. Bennett, with his 52nd of the year, extends his career high and puts him number 2 on the MASL goal scoring list behind Sonora's Frank Tao, who finished this season with a total of 57 and a league leading total of 72 points. Ian now with 63 points overall, 52 goals, 11 assists. So he could still tie Teo for the scoring lead with a 9-point outburst here in the second half. Probably not likely. Let's bring in Art Kramer again. And Art, very entertaining first half. What are your thoughts about it?
So far, so good. We haven't seen the training staff have to come on the field to tend to any players. We saw Vandergrift limp off, but as I said prior to the game, that's priority number 1, is to get out of here healthy, because you could talk about, well, you want to get on a roll, you want to be on a good note going into the playoffs, or as a former player, I just never felt it mattered. You know, it's what you did in the last game of the season does not have a carryover effect when you suit them up for that first game of the playoffs. It's the furthest thing from your mind at that point is how you played in the last game. And so this team's in a good place. Mentally, you can see, Tom, anybody they put out there, even Vega, Pereira, Wiedebach, the guys that have, Tony Patterson, every guy seems to be playing with a lot of confidence right now. And give a lot of credit to the coaching staff, led by Giuliano Oliviero, Nick Vorberg, and Marcelo Fontana. As we said, the team has improved a lot this year, but as coaches, they've grown as well. And certainly Giuliano's got to be in the conversation for MASL Coach of the Year.
6,610 on hand to see today's action, as they've seen a very good game here so far. Again, no implication in the standings as far as the result, but a very spirited game between Milwaukee and Chicago. Looks like both teams are going to change up goalkeepers here for the second half. As Rafael Diaz, there you get a look at Rafael. He will come in to play the second half for Milwaukee. And Jose Resendez taking the nets for Chicago. I think it's the first time we've ever seen Resendez. Jesus Flores, prior to now, has played every minute of every game for Chicago against Milwaukee. He's pretty much played every minute of every game for Chicago the last 3 seasons in this league.
I was going to say, I didn't even know Chicago had another goalie.
He's not the sveltest looking guy, Resendez.
Got better hair than Flores, though.
But no doubt, no doubt. But got the neon green gloves and the orange shoes, and you can bet Resendez wants to show well here in his opportunity. Second half kickoff. Wave takes it away. Here's Renault coming in. He'll test the keeper early, and the shot was blocked. That was Ortega who got back to make the block, but he may have hurt his ankle, and he is down. They're going to have to stop playing.
I think Robert was actually trying to pass that ball to Ian Bennett at the far post.
So we'll take a look at Pee Wee Ortega. Again, he has missed some time this year due to injuries. So your MASL playoff matchups again. Wave against the Kansas City Comets. Game 1, Thursday night, March 9th in KC at the Silverstein Center in Independence, Missouri. 7:35 kickoff. Game 2 here on Sunday, March 12th, 2:05. And if the team split the first 2 games, a Game 3 mini game would be played immediately following Game 2 right here at the UWMP Arena. Call the Wave office or tickets, 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com. In the East Division will be Baltimore against Harrisburg. Those two teams wrapping up the regular season against each other today in Baltimore.
Who you got in that one, Tom?
Well, hard to bet against the Blast. But I got to believe Harrisburg will give them a good battle. Heat vastly improved this year. Again, first time the Heat has been in the postseason in 17 years. In the Western Conference, Southwest Division, it's Soles de Sonora against Atletico Baja in an all-Mexican matchup there. And then in the Pacific Division, it will be San Diego against Ontario. So some pretty good matchups in the first round. We're going to see some good action here in the MSL playoffs.
So what do you got? Sonora and San Diego coming out of that other side? Or will Bernie Lillivois and the boys from Ontario pull the upset against San Diego?
Well, the Fury certainly has some momentum. There's no question about that. But they used up a lot of energy to make it to the playoffs. San Diego had already clinched the division, and they could play at a much more relaxed pace, if you will. San Diego won the regular season matchup between the clubs. Beat them 2 out of 3, I believe. And
I'm going to take Ontario.
Okay.
I'll ride the momentum.
I'll go a barbecue basket here at the UWMP Arena on that one. How's that one sound, Art?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Vandergriff, who shaken up a bit in the first half. Oh, what a pass! Ruggles across for Andre Hain with the leaping martial arts attempts, but he could not convert. Oh, what a look, though, by Ruggles.
Great job by the Wave to break the initial pressure of Chicago and then just a clinical display of passing down the field. One area the Wave has been really good at this year, Tom, is breaking the defensive pressure on their goalkeeper. That time it started with Diaz. Lemos has been great at starting the attack, and that time Diaz did, but
good distribution out of the back, no matter who's been in the nets for Milwaukee.
Well, teams that have had success against the Wave have dropped back defensively and not tried to press the Wave's goalkeeper.
Leite looking long to the corner. Hain tracking it down against Pichardo. Andre with the physical advantage there. Pichardo trying to clear. Came out to Vandergriff with a quick shot. Saved Resendez. Resendez had to make a nice save there.
Acrobatic save by Resendez.
Resendez is a champion of all those regular goalkeepers from the rec leagues. I think a lot of guys would look at Resendez and say, hey, if he can do it, maybe I can. But there is a reason he's at the professional level, and we just saw it right there. Now Martinez for Chicago, ahead to Osvaldo Rojas coming in. Wave trying to cover defensively, and eventually they blocked the shot from Rojas. Boy, great reaction by the Wave defensively. And now Tony Patterson trying to clear field, but unfortunately put it into the stands without it touching turf glass or boards. So free kick top of the arc coming for the Mustangs.
Poor decision that time by Rojas. He took one too many touches. He elected to try to dribble to his left when he had Wheelo Martinez to his right. Or the other option would have been try to shoot on Diaz. In any event, he took too long.
So the big guns come out for Chicago on this restart. Martinez shot wide. Camarena follows with a shot that's wide. Perea tries to move it up. Taylor Bond able to get it for Chicago. Wave resting Max Fernandez today, their second leading scorer.
Max Ferdinand.
Max Fernandez. Yeah, Max Fernandez is resting too today. Max, 48 points, second on the Wave scoring list, and also 7th in the league, and the league's leading playmaker. 30 assists this year, taking the day off. Ricardinho is also resting today, the rookie midfielder, as that's what's allowed Isaac Perea to get a chance to make his debut. Oh, great play there. Wiedebach able to take it away and come back with it. But Andrew has it poked away as he was moving up into the zone. De La Cruz cut off. Mustangs keep it. Oswaldo Rojas trying to work a 1-2 with Ortega. And good job by the Wave to come out of there with it. And we're going to get a foul on De La Cruz.
De La Cruz put down Chamale. Chamale, who's an excellent technical player offensively, has played well defensively today, as well as played well defensively this entire season.
Second half of the year, he has been another guy who's really come on. I think he was acclimating himself a bit to the league in the first half, but yeah, I would agree. He has really developed into an excellent defender for the Wave with a bit of offensive touch to his game. Leite trying to see if he can set up or no in the middle. Mustangs come out of there with it. Near board, Gonzalez, he's sealed off. De La Cruz will get it back in front of the Chicago bench, now across for Ortega. Still tied at 2. That was our score at halftime. And now Oswaldo Rojas trying to make a move. Could not convert as Chamale and Lemos, or rather Diaz, combined to shut him down. Ortega with it. Good to see Pee Wee back up, moving okay. He hurt his ankle, it appeared, near the end of the first half. Renault with a foul against Willow Martinez. That's his first in this half. Remember, in the MASL, you get 3 personal fouls in each half. On your 4th, your team gives up a 2-minute power play. Mustangs still working it, zone to the left. Chicago will finish as either 10 or 10 or 11 and 9. There's a shot by Martinez, turned away by Diaz.
Diaz's best save of the game, right there.
But Willow hit that one right on the money. And good positioning by Diaz to make the save. Now Resendez under pressure, out to midfield. Vega wins it for the Wave. Martinez takes away from Andre Hain. Here's Willow Martinez coming in. Hain hustles back, checks him off the play. Martinez not at all happy that there was not a foul called. Back comes the Wave 3-on-2. Chicago gets back defensively.
Another poor decision that time by Willow Martinez. He should have shot the ball when he had it on his left foot. He waited for the contact, didn't get the call.
And that's going to be a foul on Gonzalez as he gets a body against Pereira.
Not sure what Wheelo was waiting for, Tom. He had it on his left foot.
Vega, nice cut there. Dennison, shot a goal! Oh, set up by Guilherme Vega. And a nice finish by Dennison to put the Wave back on top, 3-2.
Vega with a sharp cut from right to left. Set up Dennison. I'm not sure whether he was passing the ball or making a move to his left, but Dennison right there to finish. And he beat the Chicago goalkeeper, Resendez, to the far post. That was a really nice pass that time by Vega. Set Dennison up on a platter that time.
So Hans Dennison gets his 6th of the season with the assist to Vega. And Milwaukee goes back on top, 3-2 at 7:12 of the 3rd period.
No chance that time for Resendez, Tom. He was screened in front by 2 Chicago defenders.
It's his first points as a member of the Wave. Last year with the Mustangs. Guilherme. He had a couple of goals, a couple of assists. Anyway, good to see him get on the board this year. And Milwaukee, again, could use his veteran experience perhaps in the playoffs. Trying to come back from that hip injury. So 3-2, the Wave grabs the lead. Getting set for playoff soccer here in Milwaukee. It'll start Thursday night in Kansas City. Wave taking on the Comets. 7th consecutive year Wave has battled the Comets in the postseason. Milwaukee won the first 2 series. Kansas City has taken the last 4 as the Missouri Comets. But we'll see if the Wave can change the trend this year. So Thursday night in KC at 7:35. You can check it out on the MASL YouTube channel. Our good friend Nick Vassos will be doing the broadcast there. Always great to hear Nick, and he does a fine job covering the Comets games. And then game 2, right back here at the UWMP Arena, Sunday, March 12th at 2:05. If the teams split the first 2 games, game 3 minigame would follow. Call the Wave office for tickets. 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com. Osvaldo Rojas into the zone for Chicago, and he is fouled by Tony Patterson. There's Tony, the Menominee Falls native, who played his college soccer at UWGB. Wave has had several players formerly from UWGB come through the ranks in many years. Demetrius Banks, Tony Walls, 2 certainly that come to mind as well. Here's Bennett and Ruggles trying to start it back. Oh, nice move there, Ruggles. Now he lays it off. Windcock setting up, Bennett shot to goal! And the Wave leads it 4-2 as Ian Bennett has his 2nd of the game and his 53rd of the season.
Nice combination play that time by the Wave. Ruggles, Wiedebach, and it was Ian Bennett who finished it off. Look at the first-time ball by Wiedebach to spot Bennett alone at the far post. Resendez got a piece of it, ball actually deflected off his head and went in behind. But look at the penetrating pass by Drew Ruggles to find Wiedebach, who found that man with his 53rd of the year. And that was a great look by our camera crew with Bennett coming from a deep position behind Resendez. Made a nice run to show himself at the far post.
Andrew Wiedebach with his 2nd assist of the year. This is only the 5th game that Andrew has played for the Wave this year. Now Renault coming out. Oh, nice move there to get around Ortega. He was trying to set up Pereira coming down the middle, but had the pass broken up.
I said nice look by our camera crew, our production crew downstairs. Always do a fine job. Great look that time from behind the goal.
So the Wave with a couple of quick goals. Dennison and Bennett within 16 seconds of each other, make that 26 seconds of each other, and now Chicago answers to get back within 1. It's 4-3, and it's that man there, Bond, Taylor Bond.
Bond just beat Vandegrift that time, 1v1. Couple of the big men right there with very long strides, and Taylor with just a little bit longer stride that time than Vandegrift. Got the right toe to it and beat Diaz to the far post. Nice conversion by Taylor Bond. Those balls off the back wall, trying to finish those first time, not easy at all.
Number 39 on the year for Bond, again, who has had a breakout year. 3rd-year man out of Elgin Community College, and he appears like he is going to be a major factor in this league if he continues to play in this league, stays healthy for years to come. Leite trying to jam one through. Resendez covers it up.
Marcio, who was out for a good portion of the season with an injury, really looks good with his first step today.
Now Bond back the other way, got around Ruggles, got some help from Andre Hain coming over to help, and Andre takes it away. Bodies going down, including the official Ramiro Cruz momentarily, but we play on. Chipped in, and Bond trying to head one up and over the goalkeeper Diaz, and Rafael got a little bit too much of him, and he is going to draw a blue card. The question is this going to be a PK coming for Chicago?
Kyle Trimble, the referee, further away from the play, made the call. He had a good look at it. Gonna probably get a good look at it on the replay if we see where this foul occurred. And Trimble pointing to the shootout spot.
So no PK, but looks like a shootout. And again, shootout determined if there was the last man back defensively, which I guess you'd have to say the goalkeeper was. And it looks like, I thought Willow Martinez was going to take it, but yes, he is. So Martinez will get the head start coming in from the line, and then everybody else will chase him down from midfield. And Chicago looking to tie this thing up at 4 apiece. Diaz charged with a penalty. He will not have to serve it. If Martinez does not convert on the shootout, it will be a power play for Chicago. Actually, Andre Hayne is going over to serve the penalty. 2 penalties in the contest, both against the Wave. This one comes at 9:02. Martinez, a couple of stepped overs, and he does convert. Almost took too much time, but he was able to eventually slip it past Diaz. And so the Mustangs have tied it up at 4 apiece. Time of the goal at 9:06 for Willow Martinez. He's got 2 today, and a total of 13 on the year.
Wheelo showing some good technical ability that time. Stepped over with the outside of his right foot, and then made a move that's in the same direction with the inside of his left. But that second move with the inside of his left was just so quick that there was no way Diaz could recover in time. And you had a good look right there at why Wheelo Martinez has been one of the premier scorers in the Major Arena Soccer League for a number of years.
So Diaz pays the price for his own penalty as Martinez scores on the shootout. That will count as a power play goal for Chicago.
Their second power play marker of the afternoon.
As we talked about, only 14th best in the league as far as power play percentage, but nothing like a PK or a shootout goal to help pump up that power play percentage. And as Art said, they're 2 for 2 so far today. So what had not been a strength for the Mustangs has been a good part of their game today. Back to even at 4 apiece. Now Bennett taken away. Ian looking for yet another hat trick. It seems like we talk about Ian Bennett, you're talking about a hat trick every other game at minimum. There's Francisco Gonzalez taking the foul there.
Another good call that time by Kyle Trimble. Spot that foul from behind. Kyle's had a fantastic game here refereeing.
Yeah, the referees again have done a good job. We knew that it was going to be intense today. They've done a good job to keep things under control. Still a long way to go though. Renault double teamed. Ortega takes it away, and now Renault is going to draw the foul. That's Robert's second. Robert a bit frustrated down there.
Talking about Kyle Trimble, you know, Tom, earlier in his career, he had a tendency to be a little passive, be a little.
Mustangs still working it here. We will get the thought finish from Mark Kramer as soon as he gets reactivated here.
How about now, Tom? Yeah, so I was going to say, has a tendency to be a little passive at times with the whistle, but he's really taken the bull by the horns in this one.
Kyle with a strong soccer background. He was goalkeeper for Grafton High School back in his prep days. And I believe he actually had a couple of trials with the Wave years ago. Vandergriff again went down, and he's a little slow to get up. Boy, Chad has taken a few knocks today. Andre Hain to the corner. Played off the ball as Chicago moves it up to Osvaldo Rojas. Back for Martinez. Mustangs with a little bit of offensive life here, having scored the last two. Diaz will pick that one up. Two-handed chest pass out for Dennison. Now Vandergriff, along with Hain and Dennison. And behind the play, I think we might have had a little scuffle going on, which the official, Ramiro Cruz, broke up.
Well, it was Chamale and Rojas, I believe. Rojas was down.
But as you saw, they shook hands, and hopefully will continue play here without any incident. Players have done a pretty good job to keep things under control today, but
I talked about Trimble taking the bull by the horns. His game management's been really, really good today.
Marcio, what a move there. Shot blocked by Ortega. Now that's the old Marcio there, showing a little shiftiness. And with the loss of Sean Tosh down the stretch, Sean signing with Louisville FC, outdoor team, as Leyte pushed down, and it's going to be a penalty this time. Osvaldo Rojas taking two for the Mustangs, and Wave will go on the power play.
Saw Rojas overplaying Marcio's right foot, but still couldn't stop him from going to his right.
Finishing the thought about Sean Tosh, very timely that Leyte coming back from that leg injury that had knocked him out of the lineup for the first 17 games. No question now, we've seen it in the past from Marcio, especially in the postseason. If he can get back to form, that's going to be a huge advantage for the Wave.
Offensively, a stronger player than Sean Toach, but defensively, not as strong. It actually worked out well because Marcio has power play experience. Sean Toach is doing such a nice job on the Wave power play.
Bennett trying to turn. Ian getting grappled with in the corner by Pichardo, and the foul called.
Toach was on a line with Max Ferdinand and Ian Bennett, and so now that line is Ferdinand, Bennett, and Marcio Leyte, which offensively, there's I don't think any line in the league that can compare with that talent offensively.
Bennett ready to put it in on the power play restart from Milwaukee as they look to break this 4-4 deadlock here late in the third period. In it comes. Dennison swings it around. Renault. Marcio straight away as Douglas Dos Santos challenges him. Wave has been great on the power play this year, converting at 68%, second in the league. Only Syracuse at 81% was better this year. Mustangs take it away. Chicago, as we talked about, not exactly a penalty-killing juggernaut this year. 16th best in the league at 35%. Ortega doing well to use up some time there. Eventually, Wave gets it back. So Milwaukee with Dennison, Leyte, Renault, Hain, and Bennett. Chicago with Dos Santos, who I don't think, Art, we've seen him otherwise in today's game since this penalty kill. Renault trying to maneuver. Ortega, Pichardo, and Edwin Rojas. The penalty, rest of the penalty unit for Chicago. Andre, top of the area, turning shot, blocked, got it back. Drives it just wide right. Dennison keeps it alive. Now Bennett in the corner. Pichardo able to get a piece of it. Ortega looking to clear. Boy, what a great job there to work his way through a couple of defenders. Marcios sticks a leg in to poke it away. And back comes the Wave. Still 10 seconds to go on the man advantage for Milwaukee. Now the pass picked off as Machado will use up the rest of the time. And Rojas comes out of the box. Osvaldo Rojas, both he and Edwin Rojas, both on the field for Chicago. Osvaldo number 7, Edwin number 17. Final 30 seconds of the third period. So it looks like we could have a very entertaining fourth quarter coming up here. Both teams putting on a good show today, even though, again, no implications as far as the result of this game. Ian Bennett with a shot off the mark. Rebound, follow! And as Pereira fired it in, it was blocked out. Mustangs take another foul. And Kyle Trimble is hurt enough yapping down there. And Edwin Rojas going to the box, and Edwin better settle down a bit.
I like what Kyle did there, though, Tom. He went over to the box, he issued the penalty, and then he made his way about 20 yards away from the area that he knew Rojas was going to have to go to. That was intelligent on his part. Once again, good game management by Kyle Trimble to not allow the Chicago player to engage him.
Yeah, a lot of times officials are a little too anxious to stay engaged with the players after the verbal exchange, if you will, starts. So I totally agree with you there. So this is going to do it for the third period. Each team with a pair of goals. Well, 0.6 of a second to go there as foul was called against the Wave. Should be great, great fourth period to wrap up the regular season here. And that'll do it as Machado knocks in the corner. So we go to the fourth. It's Milwaukee 4, Chicago 4. Stick around, fans. Should be a good fourth quarter coming up. This is Wave Soccer.
Milwaukee Wave
'Go where the pros go for chiropractic care, massage therapy, and exercise rehabilitation. Goodyear Chiropractic Health Center, the official chiropractor and massage therapist for the Milwaukee Wave.
What others see is not a reflection of who I really am.
Pain from everyday wear and tear? That's not gonna stop me.
That younger me, she's still in there.
With uncompromising orthopedic expertise, we make sure the state of your body matches your state of mind.
The Boogeymen providing entertainment here for the fans at the UWMP Arena. And a good one going today in the MASL regular season finale between the Wave and the Chicago Mustangs. Tied up at 4, each team with a pair of goals in the third period. As Wave got goals from Hans Dennison and Ian Bennett, Ian's second of the game and 53rd of the season, to go up 4-2, but Chicago responded with goals from Taylor Bond and Willow Martinez, the latter getting his second of the game. That was on a shootout at 9:06, and that's where we stand, tied at 4 apiece. 6,610 fans on hand here to see it today. Great crowd. And they have seen a whale of a game here between the Wave and the Mustangs. And again, a credit to these teams that they've come out here and played, both played as impressively as they have with nothing on the line. Again, the Wave trying to prep for the start of the playoffs, which begins Thursday in Kansas City, with Game 2 here Sunday, March 12th at 2 o'clock. And Chicago out of the playoffs. But again, as we talked about before, Mustangs, they don't want to go down winless against the Wave this year. They've got a fair number of Chicago fans here today. Both teams, again, doing a good job, put on a good game and a good show for the fans here.
It's been entertaining, no question about it. Should be a good finish here.
Wave in the black uniforms going right to left. Hayne setting up Nelson in the middle, and his sliding effort just tipped away. Interesting that Jesus Flores has come back in as the goalkeeper for Chicago. Now Taylor Bond ahead of the pack. He tried to slide it off to Camarena. Somali had it covered. That really surprised Taylor Bond did not take the shot there. A lot of overpassing today. Certainly at Chicago's side. Maybe the Wave perhaps a couple of times, but you won't see Taylor Bond pass up an opportunity like that too many times.
No, I think if you were scoring decision-making on both sides, both teams, probably a 5 or less.
Leite took it away. Bond hustled back and committed a foul, and Marcio was
down.
Yeah,
grabbing that knee. Watch again here. The left knee. Oh, it was actually the right knee. He hyperextended it a little bit there. You could see it on the replay.
Marcio not very happy again, just getting back in the lineup a couple of weeks ago. Missed the first 17 regular season games. This is his third game back. And
watch again, Tom. Right. One more right there with the right foot right there.
Well, it didn't look like...
Actually, I was looking at the right leg. It was the left one that Bond, it maybe clipped there.
So, now I thought they called a foul on Bond, but apparently we're going to have a drop ball.
I was watching his right leg, Tom, but it was actually his left one that he was holding.
So we'll have to monitor Marcio, see if he's okay. He stays out there for now, which is a good sign. Marcio in his 11th season with the Wave, but he has missed 2 full seasons prior to this one due to knee injuries. The Brazilian native, one of the top 10 scorers in Wave history.
I know Giuliano Oliviero, the Wave coach, wanted to get Marcio a little more game fitness because he just came back several games ago, but might want to think about pulling the plug on Marcio here for the fourth quarter.
All right, that was a delay of game. Ball going out as far. So I still find it hard to believe that did not catch glass or boards. But anyway, Chicago top the arc restart. They're going to take a timeout. So tied at 4 with 13:42 left to go. So again, Hart, as we look at this upcoming playoff matchup against Kansas City, Wave took 2 of 3 in the regular season. Milwaukee winning both games here after KC claimed the season opener down in Missouri. We talked throughout the season how the Wave seemed physically a better match for Kansas City this year. A little younger, a little more speed. What's your assessment as we head into the playoffs against them?
Well, they're a better match because of our team's speed, and we know that Kansas City, they rely on transition. You know, they win the ball and they're going. They lose the ball, they get back. I think the Wave's recovery speed defensively has been really good, and so some of that transition has been taken away because the Wave has been committed in getting back defensively a little bit quicker than they have in past years.
Also got a matchup of rookie goalkeepers, the 2 premier rookie goalkeepers. Well, although Stephen Patterson for the Comets, not really a rookie, but he had played very little prior to this season. But that is going to be an interesting matchup there. It's not Danny Waltman versus Nick Borberg or Marcel Feenstra as we've seen the past few years. So that adds a bit of intrigue into it to see which of the rookie keepers will come through for his team.
If I were a bet, I'd bet that it will go to the mini game.
7th consecutive year Milwaukee and Kansas City have met in the playoffs. Meanwhile, back to this game. Shot on by Francisco Gonzalez is blocked out of there. Now all the way back to Flores with Bennett chasing. Chamale working against Taylor Bond. Daniel Chamale, good job there to poke that away. Vandergrift steps up to clear it away, but it comes right back to Pichardo for Chicago. Willow Martinez has some space. Looking for Bond. He lays it off for the shot by Gonzalez off the mark, and Marcio trying to clear it away, but he puts it up in the stands. Another top-of-the-arc restart for Chicago.
This will be Chicago's 3rd top-of-the-arc restart. They've run the same play the first 2 times, a little soul roll from Martinez. I'm not sure why the referees aren't counting right now. 3, 4, 5.
Bond mishit the first shot, reloaded, and that shot deflected away. Diaz stepping out to try to clear it, and eventually it's nudged up into the stands by Gonzalez. So the other playoff matchups, Baltimore against Harrisburg. Baltimore, by the way, leading the Heat 5-1 at halftime today. Harrisburg actually scored first in that game. And yeah, I do think Harrisburg is going to give them the Blast a bit of a battle, but tough to bet against the defending champs in that one, as fouls can be called. As Carlos Avina got called for the foul. And it comes as Milwaukee cycle it back for Bennett. Anyway, the winners of the Wave series against the Comets and the Blast series against the Heat will then meet in the next round. And again, your final 4 in the West is Baja against Sonora. Sonora, the runners-up to the Blast in last year's championship series, as Baltimore somehow pulled out a victory in that tiny and raucous environment at El Centro de Musos Multiples to win the championship. And then San Diego against Ontario, and as you heard it here, Art Kramer is going with the Ontario Fury with a buffalo chicken strip dinner on the line against yours truly. So that should be a good series as well. And interesting, that one, Art, similar to this series with the Wave and Comets, the lower seeded team is going to get game 2 and or 3 on the back end, which could certainly make a difference if it comes down to that mini game.
Now, the only reason I'm going to go with Ontario is because Bernie Lillivois, the owner, coach, has been able to get Tommy Lasorda at a number of games, and always been a big Tommy Lasorda fan. So if Tommy Lasorda is a fan of Ontario, Art Kramer's a fan of Ontario as well.
The man who bleeds Dodger blue, Tommy Lasorda. Well, they don't make them like that anymore. Here's Diaz. Firing a shot in, deflecting wide. Pereira with the follow. And he mishit it up into the stands. Still tied at 4 with 11:04 to go. But yeah, some good first-round matchups in the MASL playoffs. Been a pretty good season. League finishing up its 3rd season this year. Diaz, nice job to come out and get it. Now Vega back for his goalkeeper. Marcio turns and dumps it to midfield. Didn't want to be holding the ball too much back in his own end there. Martinez looking across for Gonzalez. Dennison there to poke it high in the air. Bond settles. And eventually, Jamali comes away with it for the Wave. As Taylor Bond was waiting to settle that one, I was thinking about the double bicycle we saw here earlier this year, Art, with the Mustangs. One of the most spectacular plays, really in indoor soccer history, except for the fact they didn't convert. And I think we both agreed that's the first and only double bicycle attempt we've ever seen.
I've never seen it before. 2
guys on the same team trying to do it. Foul going to be called as Wittebach got knocked down. Andrew slapping hands there with Paco Gonzalez.
Well, you got to consider how many times do you just see the guy attempt a bicycle kick.
Yeah, only a couple times a season if you're fortunate to see that. Marcio on the ball for Milwaukee as Wave looks to regain the lead. Renault blasts one in. I don't know if Resendez got hurt. He came on to play the 3rd period as the goalkeeper for Chicago when it looked like Flores was going to be done for the day, and then
you mentioned that. What'd you say about he would make all the rec goalkeepers from Chicago proud, or something along those lines?
Yeah.
Maybe he had like a 6 o'clock game at the Odeum. He might have a game in Chicago, Tom. Well, he's not to take anything away from Resendez.
He's still down there at the bench.
He did make a nice save. Oh, he's still down there. Okay.
Still down there, but
we're in number 48, right?
He might have told Armando Gamboa that he needs to rest up a bit for a game later tonight. But
is that 48 he wears? Maybe that's why Armando took him out. He's like, I got a guy wearing 48 in goal.
Yeah, I've never seen a goalkeeper wear anything in the 40s before, I don't think. Flores with it.
Trying to figure the whole 48 thing out. Chicago, 48, Tom.
Jesus Flores still staying up as Jamali steps in and knocks it downfield. And there's Ortega. Boy, I'll tell you, that guy covers the whole field for Chicago. De La Cruz with a shot off the mark, but they're going to call it away for a foul.
Now, De La Cruz may have got clipped from behind that time by Vandegrift, or else he's a pretty good actor.
So free kick for the Mustangs as they look to break this 4-4 deadlock. Again, to order your Wave playoff tickets for Sunday's game, Sunday, March 12th. 2:05 p.m. Central Time here in the UWMP Arena. Call the Wave office, 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com, your source for everything Wave. Tickets, apparel, merchandise, and Wave summer camps. The 2017 Milwaukee Wave summer camp season beginning of June. Wave triple teaming De La Cruz to knock it out of there. Pereira trying to run ahead of Ortega. And Kiwi Ortega just would not let him get around.
The Wave have been very good today on defensive restarts. Chicago's had a pretty high volume of opportunities in the Wave attacking zone, but the Wave defensively has blocked a lot of shots and been very active in reading the initial pass.
Now Ruggles with it for the Wave. Drew, who scored a goal from beyond midfield in the first half. Bennett trying to find Wiedebach on the wing, could not make the connection, but the Wave gets it back.
Good first touch by Ian to bring it down, but then a poor pass.
Ian, we have to point out, career high in assists this year with 11 to go along with his 53 goals. Becoming a bit more of a playmaker. Flores will clear this one downfield. Bond across for Dos Santos. I don't recall seeing Dos Santos in the first half. He finally came on as a penalty killer in the third quarter, and now he's been out there for the most part in the fourth. Pereira up ahead. Ruggles walking in against Flores. Tried to soul roll him, and what a play by the goalkeeper. Meanwhile, Pereira is down at midfield as they play on. And now Pichardo loses the touch in the corner. And Milwaukee will hold it up to get the official list as Pereira. Isaac Pereira making his debut for the Wave today. And unfortunately, he gets hit. Let's take a look again. Ooh, right knee getting scissored by Pichardo. And not that Pichardo was trying to injure him, but that did not look good for Isaac Pereira, who had had a very active game today in his Wave debut, the native of Mexico. Let's take a look one more time. And just unlucky the way he got his legs stuck between the legs of Pichardo. And so that might do it for Isaac Pichardo today. Unlucky for the kid. He was very active today, had some chances to score. And Coach Oliviero said he was excited to see his debut today. Again, he showed some things, showed well today at various times. So he is out. Mustangs will, or rather the Wave will put it back in play as they had the possession after Chicago had moved it downfield. MASL playoffs kicking off Wednesday night with Sonora going to Baja. Coach Rene Ortiz and the homestanding Atletico Baja trying to see if they can get the jump on the series against Soles.
Ever play any day games in Baja? Tom, are they all evening games?
I don't recall ever a daytime start there. Again, in that indoor-outdoor pitch, what they have is a roof, that grandstand roof that covers up part of the pitch. And so maybe one of the reasons they don't play during the day is because either the glare or the heat on the metallic roof, which would roast anybody who stepped on the field there.
I was going to say, you could bring your Hawaiian Tropic. Get the oil out.
Bring the lawn chair along.
Watch some indoor soccer, Baja style.
Quite a unique experience. But give credit to former Wave player and teammate of Art Kramer, Rene Ortiz, for doing a fine job this year, getting the Baja team to playoffs. Certainly having Christian Gutierrez with his 51 goals helped quite a bit.
Rene and I wore the same number when we played here, number 9. Myself, Renee, Peter Hattrop, and of course, the greatest Wave player to wear number 9, Greg House.
That has been a famous number in Wave circles, no question about it. Everyone extremely worthy to wear it.
Well, and let me ask you this. Who was the first guy to wear number 9? Do you remember, Tom?
I don't recall. Marcio getting around, working with Nelson. Eder, good job to get it back. Vega will circle on the dribble.
I gotta look it up, but wasn't there a helmet played early in the early 80s?
We'd have to ask Larry Sales. He's mean, he's lean, he's Reza not mean. What number was Reza? He was a little lower, I think, than that.
Reza wore number 6.
Okay, so I was close on that.
Helmet image?
Maybe helmet image, perhaps.
Ring a bell?
Or number 9. Shot by Camarena through the legs of Vandergrift, but nice save there by Diaz. Boy, Rafael, I don't think saw that till the last moment and made a nice sprawling save. He has played well in relief of the starter Josh Lemos. Josh playing the first half and Diaz the second half, as by design from Coach Oliviero. Andre Hain, nice takeaway there. Tried to feed it ahead for Chamale, but the Mustangs get it back. And now the foul going to be called on Hans Dennison. 3:41 to go. Last goal scored in this game was the shootout goal by Willa Martinez at 9:06 of the third period to tie it up. Martinez, his second goal for the Mustangs. Now Dennison takes it away, trying to come back 3-2 ahead to Vandergrift. Flores coming out to cut him off. Vandergrift spun away from him, but the Mustangs able to get back to chip it out of there. Well, Vandergrift was ahead of the pack. Flores had to come out and make the play defensively. Jesus Flores now 38. And you wonder, Art, how much longer he's got as netminder of the Mustangs. Osvaldo Rojas back for Martinez. Drives one wide right. Oh, he had a good look that time. Ian Bennett comes out of there. Ian with 2 goals. So he's looking for a hat trick. Nice pass there. Patterson stepped over so Vandergrift could get it. And there's a handball there against Pichardo. And well, the Wave had the advantage. Lucky he didn't get a blue card there. Well, let's see what Milwaukee has on the restart chance. They immediately put it in. Bennett drives it wide. Rebound Vandergrift. Could not redirect in. And Osvaldo Rojas heads it to midfield. Wave looking to make it a 4-game sweep of the Mustangs, which would put Milwaukee at 14-6 for the season. They've been 13-7 each of the last 2 years. And after starting 4-5, didn't look like the Wave was headed for such a great season, but they have really turned it around here.
I was looking back through the media guide, Tom. It was actually Ross Ungaro wore number 9. Scored 40 goals back in 1985.
Yeah. Native of Edmonton, Alberta,
Yeah.
eventually coached the Drillers there for a couple of seasons.
Lito Zabala wore number 9 for a short time here, as did Tony Salsicia, Triple C.
Those some pretty notable names in Wave history you're talking about. And all acquitted themselves very well wearing the number 9. I hesitate to say here, Art, but could we be heading for OT today?
We'll see. We've got a minute 11 left here.
I guess it's, you know, the last game of the year, the final regular season game when there's nothing on the line. But of course, that's one that ends up in overtime. Maybe. De La Cruz trying to outmuscle Vega, who stayed with him. Bennett pokes it away. Now Edwin Rojas has it taken away by Chamale. Up ahead, Renault. Renault and Bennett 2 on 4. And Robert goes down and throws across. Well, Wave's going to get a power play with a chance to end this thing, perhaps in regulation.
Let's take another look. Renault facing goal. And there's the obstruction that time. Pichardo. You know, you can argue that that's just a simple foul, but Kyle Trimble has been consistent with that call here this afternoon.
Time the penalty at 14:20 of the fourth period. Carlos Pichardo going to the box for tripping or obstruction. Take your choice.
The Wave, Tom, with no lefties on this power play. A little surprised that we don't see Drew Ruggles over on the right side with that big left foot of his.
More noise! More noise!
Dennison fires in, and a great save by Flores. Boy, not only a great save by Flores, but to cover up any potential rebound. That's a big-time save there. Now Bond works it to Ortega, got it back, coming in, shot in the goal. 14.3 seconds left to go. A shorthanded goal for Chicago. And looks like the Mustangs are going to come away with a big win here today.
That was a thing of beauty right there by Taylor Bond. Very dangerous when he's allowed to face goal. And that time you see him running off the ball. And then just a classy little finish there by Taylor Bond. 12 seconds left. Giuliano Oliviero is going to take a timeout. Wave's going to hopefully have one more opportunity here on this power play. Would probably be a super power play, Tom. I would assume they'll pull the goalie as well.
Taylor Bond with his second of the day, his 40th of the season. So that a milestone goal for him. And doesn't look like we will be headed for overtime, but you never know.
Yep. Teach young players to pass and move, and that time Taylor Bond, after he released the pass with a nice little run and failure on the part of the Wave power play team to put a body on Bond off the ball. They just allowed him to penetrate in behind.
Nonetheless, the crowd here today has seen a great game, and they've had a tremendous time. And good matchup, and again, I'll give a lot of credit to the players on both sides, Art, and the officials as well, for making sure we had a good contest here today. Really one of the more entertaining games of the season, I would say.
It has been, and you said it, Kyle Trimble, Ramiro Cruz, both did a real nice job here in this one.
So what looked like it would be a big break for the Wave to have the power play, turns out not as much. Renault coming in, shot stop Flores. Here's Marcio with the clock ticking down, sends it in, and that's it. Mustangs clear, and it's all over. Chicago will get one against the Wave this year. Wave still wins the season series 3-1. Milwaukee now getting ready for the playoffs as the Mustangs conclude their season at 11-9. Milwaukee finishes 13-7 for the third consecutive year. Ian Bennett is our PCI hardest working player of the game, so we'll stay with it until Van McNeil gets a chance to talk with him. Art, any final thoughts on today's game in the regular season?
Well, this was a good effort, and we said come out of this with no injuries. It looked like Pereira was the only guy that suffered an injury in this one, but the regular season, we said it, 13 wins was going to get you into the playoffs, or most likely get you into the playoffs, and that's exactly what it took. But a nice 8-2 run by Giuliano Oliviero and the boys to get themselves back into the dance here. So looking forward to this matchup against Kansas City.
Take a look at a few of the highlights here from the second half. Was tied 2-2 at halftime, and then Each team getting a pair of goals in the third period. Hans Dennison converting off the nice pass from Vega to make it 3-2 at the time. Wave would then go up 4-2 as Ian Bennett converted off the nice pass from Andrew Wiedebach. Ian with 2 goals today, career high 53 on the year for the league's second leading scorer. But then Chicago would answer as Taylor Bond would get one, then Martinez on a shootout to tie it up. And then near the end of the game with the Wave on the power play, Flores with a great save, and then Ortega sets up Taylor Bond for the game winner. Let's send it down to Van.
Construction Incorporated, hardest working player of the game. The man that was able to score in every regular season game this season. Give it up for Ian Bennett. What a game, what a season, Ian Bennett.
Yeah, not bad, man. We're still not done, but I definitely got to thank my teammates, man. Everybody's been working hard. The coaching staff, owners, Mike, and just honestly, I got to give it up to Jules, man. It's been a crazy season for me off the field, but Jules has always got my back. If I ever needed to text him, call him, he was always there, man. I love that guy, man. I can't thank him enough.
The team always there for you, and we didn't get the result we wanted here against Chicago, but that's really a no invalid point because we're already in the playoffs.
Yeah, we just wanted to get some guys some experience, just in case something happens, and I think we got it good, I think they understand what it takes in a game, and they deserved it, Some of these guys have been practicing so hard with us, and they deserve to play tonight.
Now, one last question before we let you go. On to the playoffs, a quick turnaround. We're in Kansas City on Thursday night for Game 1.
No, we're good, man. We're going to bring it. We're going to get ready, have a good couple of days of practice, and we're going to do the thing, man. We're going to be awesome. Don't worry, we got this.
All right, our player of the game, Professional Construction Incorporated player of the game. Give it up for number 26, Ian Bennett, Wave fans. Professional Construction Incorporated, proud partners of your Milwaukee Wave. We'll run down the playoff scenario. Tom and Art, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Van. Ian Bennett, well-deserved PCI player of the game, arguably the Wave's team MVP this year. So Art Kramer will look ahead of the playoffs. One thing you can say about the Wave in the MASL, now their third season. They finished 13-7 in the regular season. They play the Kansas City Comets in the postseason, which will be the 7th consecutive postseason matchup against the Comets.
And everyone has just been thrilling. So once again, looking forward to it, Tom. We'll see you this weekend.
All right, sounds good. And again, our next broadcast, Sunday, March 12th, right here at 2:05 for my colleague, Wave Hall of Famer Art Kramer. Tom Wynn wishing you a good one. The Boogeymen send you out. And there it is. Wave playoffs here at the arena, Sunday, March 12th, 2:05. Call the Wave office at 414-224-WAVE. You can also order online at MilwaukeeWave.com. Take care, fans. We'll see you on March 12th.